Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of the Wrestling Underground podcast. I'm your host, straight from the Fightful Select Twitter account, Chad Porto. Joining me as always is Marcus. Don't open the DMs, Green.
Hey, yo.
Ah!
Is that a dick pic? Hey, no.
It's more like attack.
Attack!
You planning to put something on your wall? 'Cause God knows that ain't a nail. Or a rod.
What's the line from JP from Angels in the Outfield? What's lit again?
I heard that. Well, of course you heard the JP. He wasn't being quiet about it. Whatever happened to JP?
I do not know, dude, because we know what happened to,
Yeah, we got Old Boy. He ended up making a bunch of Lethal Weapon films. And then, of course, the other dude became everyone's favorite actor from, like, the late 2000s.
shout out to Neil McDonough.
Oh, yeah, he was in that movie, too. Just always chewing bubblegum.
Danny Glover, absolute legend.
So, if y'all are new to the show or woke up late or don't exist on Twitter, apparently Fightful Select found themselves in a little bit of a controversy last night. During WrestleMania Backlash, the Fightful Select Twitter account tweeted out a sext. And the immediate go-to for the sext that went out was Sean Ross Sapp saying we were hacked, don't open any DMs. But then he started saying that he doesn't even run the account, somebody else does. And I feel like you kind of need to pick a lane and go. Like, if you're going to go with the hack argument, put out an official statement. We were hacked last night. Make it so like it wasn't even just one. Say like all your accounts were compromised. Please don't open any DMs. We have addressed the matter and made sure that it hopefully will not happen again in the future. Be professional about it. Make it seem like this was a breach. Instead, Sean Ross Sapp doubled down. Tried to insinuate that he doesn't even run the account anymore. Then went on to say all sorts of like kind of like innuendo jokes about it, trying to make it seem like it's not that big of a deal, which just really kind of made everyone else focus on it being a bigger deal than it should have been. Because like here's the thing. If you get sick, right, and you can't hold it back and you shit yourself or you puke on yourself and you're just like, yeah, man, I was so sick, dude. I couldn't hold anything. I ruined my pants. People aren't going to make fun of you. They're going to be like, man, I know how you feel. Like, one time I got so sick, I was vomiting for like a month. Like, it sucks. Like, I'm glad you're okay. Like, if you own that shit, people are like far more kind to you about it. But if you keep deflecting and denying, it's like, all right, we're going to just keep coming. So, Seth, Jesus Christ, that's a Freudian slip. So, Sean Ross Sapp has found himself in it. And the thing is Marcus, like, if this was like Dave Meltzer, I would believe that. I would believe he was hacked. But I've had encounters with Sean Ross Sapp through digital media, social media, and I can tell you he's a prick. So the idea that he's cheating on his wife 100% clicks. 100% clicks. I don't know that he is. I don't have proof besides this lone tweet that was deleted. I'm just saying, like, I wouldn't doubt it. Like, if you told me Seth Rollins was a Nazi, he's already fucked one. It's not a big leap. Not a big leap. So, like, all right, like, I don't believe it, but, like, I could see it, right? So, like, I could see, Sean Ross Sapp being a prick. And I remember my encounter with him. He's like, if you were more successful, you wouldn't be this angry. And I was like, fuck did you say to me? Then the funniest part was, he's like, I used to be like you. I used to get into these arguments all the time on Twitter. And then everyone is bringing up their Ross Sapp receipts. Sean Ross receipts. Sean Sapp receipts. Yeah, I can't make it work. And, like, all of them are, like, him responding to conversations without his burner account. And I'm just sitting here, because they're all tagged from this year. Marcus and I have been rolling all afternoon about my delight in the downfall of Sean Ross Sapp as a credible human being. I still think he's a credible journalist. Let's be clear. He does good work. Like he's very rarely wrong. He's got good sources. Just because he's good at being a reporter, though, doesn't mean he's good at being a person. So I celebrate the dismay of his public imagery, but I still respect his work. He's very good at it. Very good at it. But he's not handling this well at all.
Yeah, it sucks. A lot of times, those people that tend to be really good in business or the areas that provide them a living don't necessarily tend to be the best socially. And a lot of times, that's kind of where they retreat to because they're not good socially, so they can bury everything into what's working. Because, and then, specifically, if it starts working, they really don't even care to start being social because then, in that regard, from his perspective, being social becomes a part of business, right? At being like an interactive human as they look at social media. I use it as a tool. My my character. It's a tool I use.
No, you're just a tool. There's a scene from Scrubs where Elliot finds out that this patient she used to work on, who was an addict, was working with addicts now, trying to get them clean. And she was really dead set on believing that he's changed his life. But Dr. Cox, who's basically her head coach, if you will, because it's a training hospital, Dr. Cox is like, oh, no, he's still an addict. And she said, well, if you really believe that, you wouldn't let him help other addicts. And he's like, yes, I would, because addicts know each other. They're the best person to ask on how to stay clean. So, yes, I would absolutely let him. And then at the end of the episode, it was revealed that all the addicts that met with his group were like handing over their pills to him. And Cox is like, getting the addicts to give you their drugs so you don't need to go looking. That's A+. And he's like, yeah, you caught me. And then he's like, all right, fine, but just don't drive while you use. And he's like, I take the bus. And it's like supposed to be a comedy, but like in that moment, you're like, fuck, if you have anyone in your life who's an addict, like that one hit hard. But that's like Sean Ross Sapp. I know he's scum, but to deal with the wrestling world, you kind of need to be a little scummy. So, of course, I'm going to trust him because he is them. They are him.
He is I.
Oh, God, no. I'm a cunt, man. I ain't that big of a cunt, though. Like, I know my deficiencies in life. They are there, prevalent, mocking me. Thank God I don't have a puberty beard, because that's one too many hits, man. But like, I can see Sapp for his value, but I would never be friends with that dude. That dude is the kind of guy who, literally on his Twitter account, puts what degree black belt he is, or who he trains with, because he thinks people will think he's cool. I haven't updated my Twitter bio in 3 years.
Yeah, I've yet to update mine. I'm thinking about something in particular, but it's basically just the line from A Knight's Tale about changing the stars. But yeah, I always look at people weird when like the only thing they Twitter about you is what celebrity followed them on what date. I say no, can't follow you.
Here's the line you should go with. Women we don't understand women, but they understand us. Well, maybe not you. I will find you.
Like everything that happens within the human scope, or maybe not yours. So he got his ass twice in the movie, man.
Chaucer is great in that.
And if I'm not mistaken, that's Paul Bettany and
Alan Tudyk.
Freaking Vision and Mr. Nobody.
Yup. I think the dumbest thing about that movie is how beautiful those women are. Like, my God. The blacksmith.
The blacksmith, the handmaid.
Those two stole the show for me. And then, like, her name, the princess or whatever she was, like some royalty or elite level lady or whatever. Like, her last name's like Sama Harrison or something like that. And it's just like, yes. That's the sexiest name, and it fits you perfectly. Brilliant. So, yeah, Nightstyle. I think I actually updated my Twitter bio within the last 6 months, actually, my personal one. Because I changed it to a photo of Seth from the OC. But I may not have. But I do remember changing the photo, so I had to check. I don't really use social media outside of the show, the site, and work. Like, I don't like social media.
Yeah, it's I mean, Twitter's good for keeping up with news quick and whatnot, but I'm not the only social media I have. I don't do pictures, so I don't have Instagram. I got made by my college sweetheart to get a Facebook, even though I don't ever use it. And yeah, that's it. I don't need anything else. Not getting on TikTok or Tinder.
I miss MySpace, Marcus, because MySpace was low-key really good at creating content and then distributing it. I remember I was engrossed in this visual novel that was basically like The Happening, only like not terrible. No, not The Happening. What was the one with Nick Cage where everyone disappears? That one. It was based on like some Christian fiction book or whatever it is. No, not the Bible. No, it was like based on the Rapture. And like Nick Cage is a pilot, and Chad Michael Murray was in it. I can't remember the name of it, but it's something like The Happening, like that kind of name. But it was like kind of around that idea, and it was like about this dude who wakes up and finds out like people are gone, so he goes looking for people, and he meets a few along the way, and like he's heading his way like to a military base in Colorado. I can't remember the name of the for the life of me, but I remember like being engrossed in it in like 2006 or 2007. I was like, man, this is great. The internet can't get any better than this.
You know, it's funny, but before MySpace, you know what I remember specifically? I think it was from middle school though. Remember Bebo?
No, actually, wait, was Bebo like a chat site?
Yeah, it was kind of like the child of MySpace before MySpace.
No, I don't think I was on Bebo. MySpace was the first. All right, see, like I'm about to say something that people are going to be shocked by. I was never on the internet before 2005, like ever. I remember having a chat once with a cousin on AIM, and I was like, "This is dumb. I'll just call you." And like I never used it for high school. It was just one of those things. Like 2004, 2005, it was a different fucking year, man. We didn't have the internet everywhere.
No, we did not.
So let's talk about something that's newsy-worthy. Marcus, how do you feel about this Judgment Day stable?
It's interesting. I mean, it's something for talent to do, and it's a way for Edge to kind of help younger talent and give back or whatever. That is the stable we're talking about, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a way for Edge to kind of elevate young talent without having to wrestle them. You know, so it's interesting. It's obviously it's some type of offshoot of the Brood, or maybe amalgamation hybrid, whatever you want to call it. It's interesting. You know, like I said, it's, you know, specifically with their newest member.
Yeah, Rhea Ripley's the newest member, and all I gotta say is, I'm not a fan of Old Man Edge, and I'm really hoping that eventually we get back to a period of time where we're okay bringing back stables. Like Bullet Club just had their 9th year anniversary. And they might be stronger now than they've been in the last 5 years. Why can't we have the Brood again? Like, just have the Brood with Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley. Why can't we do that? Why can't we bring back good things? It's not like these new things are so good. Like, I'm waiting one day for someone to bust out an NWO t-shirt.
Wait a minute, you don't love the Bloodline?
I do not. But then again, it's a 3-person stable, so like, I don't know. You're a trio. Cool story. Like what was that song from Shania Twain? You don't impress me much. So you got the hair, but do you got the touch?
That You know what that sounds? That sounds like a singer that is also from the same race, um, as Jar Jar Binks.
You sir don't impress me much.
But that
You sir
R&B
got the
singer,
hairs.
you don't impress me much. That
Jar
is
Jar,
also.
you's a big bomb bad. Are you all constantly doing crank? Why are you talking like perpetual stroke victims?
That galactic jingle jangle, goddamn.
Listen, I would accept both actresses that play Betty and Veronica. And like, listen, that show failed right there and then when Archie didn't just go thruple. Betty's into chicks, apparently at times when she's dark Betty. Veronica's willing to do anything to make her man happy. So like, why pick? Left Twix, right tricks. Just get the fucking
like,
package.
like literally, their relationship dynamic was sex.
Yeah. She wanted someone who would tell her, Veronica, you're not a terrible person.
And
You could do that while also banging Betty in the same bed. Like, come on.
Oh my God, that was the perfect opportunity to be Two-Face from Forever.
Basically, only not being an asshole because that's Tommy Lee Jones. But I digress.
Yeah, specifically that scene where I made your favorite, a char boar, black boar.
Oh, God, that's right.
I made your favorite.
See, like, I would kick both of them out. Granted, if half my face looked like, a walrus's anus after Chuck E. Cheese, maybe I wouldn't be so picky.
I don't know now. Drew Barrymore, that was her Cameron Diaz.
I don't think she had a Cameron Diaz movie, buddy.
Damn.
That's one of those like we're like we're about to like do like the Mortal Kombat pose and like and then you're like I want Drew Barrymore. I'm like okay, no, that's cool. You can have her.
You forget who was else in that movie. That was prime Nicole Kidman.
See, it's like that's one of those arms like you can have her. As I slid over to Nicole.
And Chad like Nigma say the line, and what a grand pursuit you must be, Miss Chase Marie. Oh, yeah, Chase.
My friend is too damn smart for jokes. Marcus, what do you call a baby goat taking a siesta?
Oh, hit me.
A kidnap. But she's Mexican, so like I sent her that, and she goes, "Well, baby goats are called kids, so a kidnap?" And I'm like, "God damn it! Why can't I get people to fall for my stupid dad jokes?"
You just had to correct me and then try to laugh.
Well, all right. So my other friend, she doesn't speak Spanish, but that doesn't matter. What was the joke I sent her? Because I sent her the same joke, and she hated it. She thought it was terrible. So I knew I did my job. Let's see. What was the other joke? Because it was also bad. All right, yeah. Why didn't Dracula have any friends? Because he's a pain in the neck.
That's good. That's actually good.
But she replies with, again, this is a different friend. She goes, "Yes, he does. Have you seen Hotel Transylvania?" So I just reply back, "Joke killer. You're a joke killer." So anyway, yeah, bring back the brood. Speaking of people coming back or being brought back, Nash Carter, a.k.a. Zachary Wentz, he's coming back to wrestling on May 21st in Orlando, Florida with the Circle 6 promotion for their upcoming Deliver Us event, which, if you're at all religious or Christian or Catholic, you understand or Marcus, you're a comic book fan, the Deliver Us from Evil's portion of Spider-Man 2002, where Green Goblin pops on and he says, "Say it! Finish it!" And Aunt May screams, "Deliver us from evil!" Well, that's what the event's named after, is the biblical verse of "Deliver us from evil," or the biblical prayer, I guess. I am not well read on my my bibliography. I think that's right. But he's coming back. No opponent has been announced yet. It's his first match back, and Circle 6 tweeted out the tweets. Welcome back, Zach. Circle 6 at No Peace Underground, May 21st, Orlando, Florida. So, Marcus, we know about the Kimberly stuff. It's all ongoing, and after the Amber Heard trial, I think a lot more people are willing to take a breather and be like, listen, if it's 25 people like Deshaun Watson, it's all right to go, yeah, I kind of believe them. 25 people. That's a lot. That's a conspiracy if they're all lying. So 25 people kind of makes sense, right? But one, that's he said, she said. And I think a lot of people are willing to go, well. And now people are like, seeing, Kimberly get accused of being a narcissist and a sociopath. And now you wonder, well, did she get him fired on purpose to hurt him? I don't know. I don't want to take sides. I like both wrestlers. I really do, or did. I'm kind of in a holding pattern on both. Like, I'm not like Crispin wawing anyone at the moment. But it was like when Enzo kind of had the same accusations against him. I was like, all right, Enzo, you need to not be around TV right now. And then, of course, he got himself vindicated by her own friends going, yeah, she crazy. So, like, I'm again on the Enzo fan bandwagon. I'm not like a big Enzo fan, but he's highly entertaining. But, like, with Wentz and Kimberly, I'm now on the we'll see how this plays out bandwagon. Do you think this is the right time for Nash Carter? Ugh, what a terrible name. To come back to wrestling?
I don't know if it's ever going to be a right time with the climate.
True.
But if he can work, I'd work. And just try to draw all attention to my in-ring talent and keep it there, keep a low profile and just go and do the work. Because when a situation like this, like I said, with the climate, even when all the dust settles off, we've had this conversation, and ultimately, when I was saying, I guess pushing back on the believe all women part, that goes to men too. You can't believe anybody off the bat, specifically people you don't know. Now, when they get to people you know, obviously that's a biased gray area immediately in. But these are people, this third party stuff. We don't know these individuals. We only know them from a certain perspective, which is entertainment. And, the whole his side, her side, and the truth. So until that comes out in the rinse and the wash or what have you, all he can do is all he can do, and all he can do is work. Specifically, if he's just leaving it to legal, which I would imagine he's doing because he hasn't spoke out about it.
Mm-hmm.
Probably at the recommendation of whatever legal counsel he's getting, if he's getting some. So
I would hope.
Yeah. So all he can do is put his head down, do the work, because obviously, if things come out his way, he may have a door to get back in WWE. I don't know, probably not. Specifically all the people they just done dropped anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But if he can work, man, you still gotta eat out here.
Yep. So firstly, this does not remind me of the Joey Ryan situation where Joey tried to get himself booked after the whole issue because he had a lot of accusations against him as well. I think Michael Elgin also got dropped from a card when he tried to work again. Now that one is a little bit different because Elgin also has had his thumb in more than one controversy. But I want to be very clear. You're right. If you know somebody, you're more likely to believe that they didn't do something. So I want to be very clear. If I'm ever accused of hitting a woman, never happened. If I'm ever accused of sexually assaulting a woman, it never happened. If I'm ever accused of punching a goat, yeah, it probably happened. Like, let's be clear here.
And if you come to me with those 3 accusations, Troy, Chad, you know what I'm gonna say? Show me the goat footage. First, show me the goat footage.
And listen, it's not animal brutality. It's, I believe I'm going to die at the hands of a goat. I think they're hunting me. And I'm ready for those fuckers. Marcus, I almost got deer jacked last night.
I feel like the goat was sent from the falcon.
Yeah, nope, that tracks. I almost got mauled by a falcon once. I almost got mauled by a bat once, too. The animal kingdom is rioting. So last night I come home. It's like 1:30 in the morning because I ran to the 24-hour gas station because they have, like, salads. They have, like, pre-made salads and sandwiches. So I went and got a soup and a sandwich, right, and a salad. So I got home, got out of my car, and I see 2 deer. We got a lot of deer by my house, so this is not unexpected. And they're just chilling at the next house, like 10 feet away from me. I turn around, the third deer comes galloping at me. I'm like, oh my God, you can have the keys. So yeah, I almost got deer jacked last night. They tried to steal my car, my 2010 Ford Focus. How would I ever replace such a valuable vehicle? And by I almost got deer jacked, I mean I threw the keys at him like, take my car so I can report it stolen. Take it.
That's my purse.
That's my purse. I don't know you. I hope they fucking make that into a revival because we need more of those shows, man.
Oh man,
So good. All right, let's see. By the by, if you want to hear our thoughts on Under Siege, we did an entire podcast last night about it. It's up on the website. It's up on the YouTube channel. Check it out. RealNerdCorp.com. Just go to the website. It's quicker. RealNerdCorp.com. One of the names that came back last night was Mia Yim. Marcus, we're both very big fans of Mia Yim, the head baddie in charge, the HBIC.
Yes, sir.
Now we're finding out that the contract that she has is only for 6 months, but there's a lot of kind of progress with talks about being more long term. That's kind of how they do things at the moment. Jonah had a 6-month deal. Who else? I'm sure a lot of guys, when they start the company, have a 6-month deal. I think Ryder or Cardona had a 6-month deal. Hawkins had a 1-year deal. It's like they're not always getting long-term contracts, right? So I'm not dismayed at finding out that Mia only has a 6-month deal because she has history of the company. Scott D'Amore has proven to be a very good booker for women because I would say even with big-time Becks, which, by the by, let me just say this about Becky Lynch. The man gimmick was terrible. Trying to look like she was in a Quentin Tarantino movie was stupid. Her promos are god-awful. But I'm actually fine with the jaggedy haircut, big-time Beck's personality. That feels like it finally works. But that has nothing to do with this conversation. I just want to mention that. When it comes to the women's divisions of wrestling, I think Impact has the best. And I've not always been very high on modern Impact. Like their roster doesn't always tickle my fancy, and I'm constantly kind of looking for more from them. Maybe 10 years ago, my bias would be far more obvious, but today, that's not the case. But I still think they have the best women's division in wrestling, even if one of their biggest names is Deonna Purrazzo, who I think is vastly overrated. Marcus, are you dismayed, upset, bewildered, or befuddled at all by her 6-month deal, or do you understand it?
I get it. You know, she's had her I guess what would be considered most people's dream job. She's been snapped out of that disillusionment, and obviously I think her hubby in Keith Lee is elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
But Impact is home, and she knows she's going to be treated right, and she knows it's definitely a place to go. And I appreciate the fact that she did make that her first place to return to. And I just think it keeps things viable, because I think that's what a lot of end up happening with a lot of those people who got, I guess, dejected from WWE, because they did want that place to be permanent, and then they got dropped like a bad habit. So now they don't necessarily look forward to committed relationships. They're very loosely dating, if you will, or intentionally dating, I should say. So I get it, and hopefully if things work out the way they do, that contract will get extended, or it won't. But this does add another quiver and arrow in the quiver of the conversation we have about Impact sitting down and really honing in on who they need to be dating versus who they need to be in a relationship with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so hopefully, they can turn this into something more long term. But for now, I'm just glad she's back.
I am too. Speaking of back, Sami Callihan's also back. First person to find that out the hard way is Moose. He was not singing the Welcome Back Kotter song, that's for sure. Welcome back. Your injury was our ticket out. Well, Moose spoke to WrestleZone, and he basically said, I have goals. Quote, there's obviously goals and things I haven't accomplished in Impact. That's one of the reasons I decided to stay here with my contract was up. I've never been X Division champion. I've never been a tag team champion. So those are two things that I'd like to accomplish. Obviously, to become a tag team champion, I'd have to find a tag team partner that could stand me, you know? For my second run as Impact World Champion, I'm starting to do my homework, actually, since I lost it, to see what I can do to make my second run different from my first run. So this was obviously before I lost. So let me ask you this, Marcus. Who would you want to see tag with Moose?
Well, let's see. Let's go down the list of people he hasn't screwed over on his way to being champion. Damn, that looked like one of them papers they used to deliver from with the crows in Game of Thrones. I mean, I like them better beefing, but I guess him and Callahan would be an odd couple. Definitely Morrissey's out. I mean, that's a boring pair. Um, I mean, we talked about it. I kind of want him to get away from him, but I don't know how they fit. Maybe Shira, just to get him away from the and this is not to come off bad in any way, but just to get him from some of the Indian stuff, because it's just not. I just feel like they just see those guys and put them all together like how Vince does black dudes.
It's very possible. But also, I want to be clear, Marcus is not a racist to Indians. He can't tell white people apart. No, he can't tell black people apart. That's what he can't do. Marcus only sees the same black person, regardless of gender.
Yeah, I literally had to force myself to do two separate reports on Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin. But anyway,
knock, knock. Who's there, Bobby? Bobby who? Exactly.
Thanks, Shelton. That's Mark Henry. Yeah, him too. But yeah, oh man, it's just because, like I said, he's basically screwed everybody over on his way. I mean, but we saw what happened with Callahan and Eddie. So I don't know, Moose, and I mean, he wants to be X Division champion, which kind of seems like he's going backwards at this point. But Moose and Ace, no, Ace don't really work well with nobody, man. He's kind of his own little sniveling little crap. I don't know.
I think you could do Swan. If you want to do like an odd couple pairing, I think Swan works.
Swan. Now that's...
Because it would definitely be like a cantankerous relationship. But maybe you could even add like a little bit of like a rock and sock element to it where Moose is almost condescendingly trying to be Swan's friend. Where he's always coming out to help Swan. He's always like, I just want to have your back, Rich. Like that kind of like... you can't trust him. He's definitely the scorpion in the tail, the scorpion in the toad, but also he's still doing good. And like you can really work something like the animal kingdom because like he's a moose, he's a swan. Big what do you call it? Big antlers and wider wings or something like that. Like you could really use the animal motif that their names bring to really hammer that home.
Yeah, always bring out Moose first for that entrance when he's like snuffing like a moose. And then like, hey, yeah, because he's playing like the dancing mooses or something like that. I don't know, the boogie down mooses. I don't know.
Just bring out a bunch of dudes dressed in moose gear. They're just like wearing like moose outfits and costumes and whatnot.
But the people dancing in moose gear. It's time to party. Oh, oh, oh.
Have Moose come out to Swan's music. I think that would be just the tits.
And he's pissed off the whole time, just snuffing at him. And Swan's putting the thing in gear and then going down the ramp with the shades. Like, yeah, that'll be funny.
So, is there anyone else? Because like I'm thinking Eddie, but no. I think like someone like Matt Taven would be interesting, but he's already got a tag team partner in Bennett. Jonah would have been interesting.
PCO has the guy with the dreads.
Yeah, you got Vincent.
Yeah, I'm trying to see who else is it. The guns are locked. Bullet Club doesn't.
Well, because I think like me, you were a big fan of Kane and X-Pac? Were you watching wrestling during their tag team heyday?
it was brief. I vaguely remember. But how long was that stint, by the way?
7 months
Yeah, it makes sense.
from like April to October, I think. So my thought would be, why not Moose and Chris Bay do the big man, little man thing?
You know what's funny? I was gonna bring up Miguel.
I was thinking Miguel too, but then you'd have to do a heel turn, and I don't know how that would
Yeah.
work.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think either guy, because like if you do the big little dynamic, which always works well for a tag team, I think it would get over. I really do.
I mean, hell, she wants to wrestle dudes anyway. Swole Moose with Grace.
Yeah, I was actually thinking Grace too for a second, but they're doing her and Morrissey right now, which I don't
Oh,
get.
yeah, because we all prayed for that. But
So yeah, it's definitely not easy pairing moves right now, at least with the roster as it stands. Now I have Swan's theme song stuck in my head, which I think is fair because I put the Guile theme song in your head before the show started. Sorry.
did that come up in the movie, by the way?
No, that's from the video game itself. Did
No,
they?
I know, but did they
I
ever play it in the movie?
No, I don't think they did. I don't think they played any of the music from Street Fighter in the movie, which is so dumb because Raul Julia made that movie like the greatest video game movie of all time. All right, my friend is texting me bad jokes, and I think I got the answer to this one.
Oh,
Why
I
did the
got two.
Why did the coach go to the bank? I think the answer is to get his quarterback. We'll see if I'm right.
No, that's good. I actually have two seemingly bad jokes, but I don't know if I should save them till we off air.
Yeah, save them for off air. Because if you're concerned about them, then I know they're probably pretty awful. Because you tolerate me, and I say some dumb stuff.
Ah. Yeah, because if we offended some people talking about Macklin last night, shout out to Jutsu.
Yeah, that was funny, and like it's so on brand for them. I love those cats. They're good people.
They get his. Yeah, they're good people.
They're the best people in the whole world. Just the best. There's good people on both sides. I grabbed the wrong mouse. Speaking of good people on both sides, let's talk about Paul Ellering's former tag team. I was about to call him John Ellering. Jesus Christ, I am not set out for this career.
Talking about the library authors or something.
Yeah, yes, the librarians, Tokar and Razor. They're retired. Apparently not, because according to Sext Ross Sapp, well, I'm sorry, Sean Ross Sext. I mean, god damn it, here we go. Tokar and Razor are planning on running their own independent wrestling show in Dubai this year. Not only do they plan to run it, but they also intend on wrestling at the event as well. This is going to be the first match back since the Authors of Pain were released in 2020 during the first, I think it was the first round of cuts via the pandemic cuts. Whether this would make a full-time return to pro wrestling for the former Authors of Pain remains to be seen, but regarding this upcoming event, one source said to God, here we go again. I'm not sure how often they'll be wrestling, but they're planning to do this one. Marcus, do you want to see Tokar and Razor back in wrestling?
I appreciate the effort, and that's a hell of a move, but no, I'm good. As Randy Jackson would say, it's a no for me, dog. But like I said, I appreciate the fact. I mean, they obviously went home and gonna do their thing there, but I don't necessarily need to see them. I think they could do great starting a security company or something. I don't know how much of a thing that is over there, but those aren't two little fellas, So.
No, they are not. I think one of them, maybe Tokar, was an MMA fighter, so I'm surprised he didn't get back into that. And no, I will never not call them Tokar and Razor. And if that bothers you, find better names. I'm not going to apologize for your terrible naming this. WWE. Speaking of terrible, good lucha things is coming to MLW. Remember when Kalisto, when he was Samurai del Sol, was like, yeah, I think that's right, was like the new hot property, and everyone's like, he's the next Rey Mysterio, and then he bottoms out so hard in WWE, worse than Sin Cara 1 ever did.
Yeah, one. Not Negro, one.
Uno. Not the one
Yeah.
Marcus can't tell apart,
Oh,
but the
there.
blue one. Azul.
Not the thicker one with the tats.
Not the thicker one with the tats who rode around with Camacho.
Jesus Christ. But yeah,
Tamatanga. No, Tongaloa.
yeah, what you call it? He looked good. He had some moves, but he had one of the most epic promo fails I've ever seen. To the point like he got flustered, got pissed, and left. Well, yeah. So what he's up to?
So he's going to MLW. He's going to be Octagon Jr., which I thought was already a name for someone in CMLL. Because, like, kind of like how I mentioned before with the Brood, how they should just bring it back instead of doing this dumb Judgment Day stable. Lucha Libre customs and even Japanese customs do pass down masks. When Penta L0M, which is just the dumbest name, was cool, he went by Pentagon Jr. because he was the second incarnation of Pentagon. Or maybe not the second, but he was the next incarnation of Pentagon. And Pentagon had a long-standing rivalry with Octagon. Because of course he did. So I thought there was already an Octagon Jr. Let's see if we can find Octagon. Come on, digital keyboard. I got you so I didn't have to move so much. Octagon AAA. Octagon has a cool ninja look, which I always appreciated. He's in AAA. How old is Octagon? He is 61. So they're doing Octagon Jr. with MLW. And there's an entire page on his Wikipedia called Octagon Clones. So there you go.
Octagon versus Pentagon Jr.
Oh, apparently. Oh, so, all right, let me just kind of walk this back a little bit. Apparently, Octagon Jr. is not a new name for Kalisto, a.k.a. Samurai Del Sol, a.k.a. Octagon Jr. He's always been Octagon Jr. I didn't know that. When he was in AAA in 2011, he took up the mantle, apparently. And Octagon himself gave him the name. So that's pretty dope. Did Octagon Jr. have any feuds with Pentagon Jr.? That'd be interesting. Octagon defeated his debuting storyline nemesis Pentagon Jr. So yes, Octagon Jr. has had a feud with Pentagon Jr.
Right.
We have come full circle. Granted, it's like a decade old, but hey, there you go. If you want to watch Lucha Libre with Spanish commentary, you can do that now. So yeah, Marcus, any interest in seeing Kalisto back as Octagon Jr. in CMLL?
Yeah,
Not CMLL, MLW.
Yeah, you always had some great masks and great to watch in the ring if you got a new attitude and whatever. And just MLW kind of is fostering a lot of great kind of reinventions of people's characters and whatnot. So I'll definitely be looking forward to seeing, what he'd bring to MLW, because that's almost the closest thing we're getting out of Lucha Underground. I would imagine if Kalisto Lucha was still around, he'd be a great fit in Lucha Underground, kind of like a good opposition to somebody like a Phoenix, if it was still around, or Drago.
Oh, jeez. I'm just thinking of all the great waste of talent that Lucha Underground had that's in AEW right now, just going to just nothing. It's just terrible. Marcus, it's just terrible.
Chad's like, not you, Cage, but talking about the other ones.
Yeah. He kind of did that to himself.
Like, we want to talk about Melissa, though. She can stay. You go.
She can always stay. She can stay, but you can go. So, yeah, I think that's about it. Marcus, anything else happened this week that caught your eye?
No, that's about it. Again, shout out to the Batista, 20 years in the business. I think he debuted on debuted this week, 20 years ago. So shout out to Dave Batista, one of my absolute favorites. And yeah, that pretty much covers everything of pertinence. I think we mentioned we was gonna cover WrestleMania Backlash briefly, but no, not necessary.
Oh, we can touch on that. Did you watch any of it?
No, I literally just saw some of the highlights off Raw. I was intending to go watch it in the highlight compilation on YouTube, but I couldn't get motivated enough to do it before the show.
You couldn't even be motivated to watch the highlight compilation.
Exactly. That's just Chad's dumping of WWE is rubbing off on me. I don't think I've watched a full Raw or SmackDown in weeks.
I don't blame you at all. So Rhea Ripley defeated Asuka and Charlotte to retain. Apparently Charlotte has a fake arm injury now. Ray and Dominic defeat. Oh, this is last year. I was like, this doesn't make any sense.
Like Rhea got to win. Whoa, whoa.
Ugh. I hate these new posters with their fucking peacock streaming slapped on it. Ugh. So they didn't even have a pre-show? All right. Cody defeated Seth Rollins. I will not say his middle name. Seth Nazi fucking Rollins. There, I said it. So that had to be boring. Almost defeated Bobby Lashley by pinfall. Margus. Knock, knock.
It was there.
Bobby.
Bobby who?
Exactly.
Had to put that John Hansu from Guardians. I'm Star-Lord, man.
Who? I don't know whose over-inflection I like more. Is it John Mahan? Is that how you say it? Because I always just said Digimon Jesus.
Digimon.
Digimon, Digital Monsters. Digimon is an actor.
That is hilarious. And I almost once about to ask him how many times he's been called Digimon. I think it's Dijamin.
Dijamin. Okay, so Dijamin's who or Chichwali Ejiofor's But I Do from Serenity. It's so overinflated. I love him. By the way, that entire speech between Nathan Fillion and Chichwali is like my favorite conversation in movie history. Oh.
Thinking about like over inflections or over exaggeration. Like I don't know. I mean, obviously, old boy from Judge Dredd.
Yep.
Take cake. But
Yep.
right behind him is Calabar. Bring me the talisman, which has with the hand movements and the just.
Was that from Calabar? Was that from Halloween Town?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bring me the talisman, which has
And-
you thought you could defeat me. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
And I thought that was the dude from who was playing the devil in Hocus Pocus. For a second, like that's who I thought. That's who I thought you meant. But yeah,
that's what-
Armand DeSanti from Dredd, Judge Dredd was great. There's no G's and H's in the word law, buddy. You got a little phlegm in your throat? Speaking of phlegm in your throat, AJ Styles lost by technical submission. I fucking hate that term. So dumb. So apparently Edge choked out AJ Styles. You either tap or snap, but everyone pays the piper. Apparently not, though, because sometimes you can also pass out.
And he's taking out soccer moms.
God, it's the bad hair club for men. By the way, I dyed my beard for the first time ever. I went a little too dark. I wanted to get rid of the gray for a little bit, just to see what it looked like. Because I don't know what I look like without gray hair. Like I don't know. But I do look better. But I think I should have gone with a lighter brown, or like because I definitely went with like not jet black, but like dark brown. So like should have gone with a little lighter. But yeah, try new things out and see what happens. Speaking of trying new things out, Ronda Rousey's champion. That's not a new thing. That's an old thing, and we're done with it. I don't know anyone who is worse uncutting promos than Ronda Rousey, who's also very good at doing interviews. Like, if you watch a Ronda Rousey interview before she became the worst person ever, she's very good at getting a point across. But then whenever she does a promo, she's so bad. It's like someone who has a beautiful smile, and you're like, all right, we're going to take a photo. And then you're like, dude, take a smile. And then he forces it, and you're like, oh, why? That's Ronda Rousey giving a promo. Like, you can talk. Like, you're charismatic. But then you talk on a microphone in front of people, and you're bad at it. What are you doing?
Yeah, it's weird because in real life she was, like an actual badass, but then when she has to play one, she can't. It's weird.
Yeah, she has no idea like how to act, and that was very clear in that Fast and the Furious movie.
Oh God! Oh my God!
But then again, so many of those people don't know how to act.
Yeah, at this point, if you showing up trying to commit, you're taking it way too serious.
Like Jason Statham, who is at best an average actor, showed up and he's like, "Am I gonna win an Emmy for this, like, or a Grammy, or an Oscar? Like, I'm with Ludacris and fucking Baby Boy over here. How am I the best actor on set?" And then Vin Diesel's like, "Hey, I'm a pretty good fucking actor myself." It's like, motherfucker, you've been that same role for 30 years. You don't know how to act. You've been selling Street Sharks for the last 30 years. Fucking Rock shows up and he's like, "Man, I'm Tom Hanks compared to you guys." What a terrible... Jordana Brewster's good.
Yeah.
And the chick from Game of Thrones ain't bad. Although I've never seen her in anything where she actually had like the quality of writing to show her range. So I don't know if she's any good or not. I'm trying to think of who else is in those movies.
Tyrese, Ludacris, Nathalie Emmanuel, like you said, Jordana Brewster, Michelle Rodriguez.
So we're hitting 2 for 5 right now.
Hilarious.
Michelle Rodriguez is terrible too.
Gorgeous. Hate when she cut her hair, but
she looks like if Kirby was a Latina actress.
Latin Kirby.
Oh no! Blurby's natural enemy. Blurby. Blurby shows up and he's cutting a promo like Bobby Lashley, but then Lurby shows up and he's cutting a promo, but it's all in Spanish, so like just subtitles coming out, hitting Blurby in the face.
Kirby X. No,
Wait, hang on, I can do this. Curbed. You got blacked, bleached, curbed, pinked. Oh, there it is.
Wait a minute. If black is black on white, bleached is white on whiter?
Yeah, or no, just white on anything. Because technically that's what blacked is too.
No, you're not wrong.
Yeah, so
black top. Yes, black top.
Yeah, black top, white top, and then pink top. Curbed.
Yeah.
Are we gonna go with curbed or pinked for the Kirby brand?
I want to say curbed. I like curbed. They did that because it's us behind it with like the Benioff and Wise of the universe. Curbed.
Speaking of people who need to be curbed, apparently Madcap Moss and Happy Corbin had a match. And no, I'm not talking about Kirby. I'm talking about American History X curbing. I don't need to see these two gimmicks ever again. Have them bite the fucking curb because we're done. These two dudes are done. These gimmicks are terrible. Like, I'm starting to like feel the Ezekiel because it's kind of like a combination of Joseph Park when he was doing like My Brother Abyss, and like there's like a little mix of something else in there, and like his attire is good because that was the one thing I thought. I can't remember his original name.
Elias,
thank you. Elias's gimmick was cool. Like he sang and he played guitar, but his attire was always trash. Now you got this off-brand Ultimate Warrior lookalike, and I'm like, you know what? Okay, this I don't hate yet, but I'm not watching it every week. So like, it's kind of like that one person that everyone doesn't like at the party, but you only ever see him like twice a year, and you never find him annoying. So basically, everyone who's ever met me, because they always find me annoying. I don't see Elias's brother Ezekiel enough to be like, yeah, he's terrible. But like I've seen enough of him to go, this is mildly entertaining. So like, I'm good with that. But Madcap and Happy Corbin need new fucking gimmicks. And why they're giving Corbin a Gold Glove caliber boxer who was in the NFL some trash ass gimmick in the first place, and isn't just making him a Muay Thai master beating the shit out of people with his striking. It's fucking stupid. They're stupid, Marcus. Stupid. Stupid. Stupid.
Dummy. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, God. Remember when Sean Ricker, Eli Drake, L.A. Knight was a wrestler that we enjoyed? I remember.
Yeah, man.
Pepperidge Farms remembers. So, yeah, Madcap defeated Happy Corbin, and I could give a flying fucking doodle doo. The Bloodline defeated Drew McIntyre and RK Bro in the main event. And Jesus Christ, talk about a main event I have no desire to watch. It's bad enough that you have Randy Orton and Riddle, but Drew McIntyre has never done it for me, even when he was in Impact, even when he was braining Loki with a lead pipe, which, by the by, thank you, Drew. That COVID-denying flat earth fucker. I like Loki, but he's such a douchebag. That's why no one wants to hire him anymore. And the Bloodline is like literally the Samoan version of RK Bro and Drew McIntyre. Like, I get it. People like Roman Reigns and people like the Usos, but to me, they're just like everyone else. Just like Randy Orton, McIntyre, Riddle. They're just generic dudes with generic mentalities, and I can't get involved. Yeah, Roman Reigns has some good writers, but you know who doesn't? Danhausen, because Danhausen's a fucking quip waiting to happen. He doesn't need writers. He's the Hausen.
Man, he's actively stalking the jiu-jitsu Abercrombie and Finch model.
Yes, he is. Hook, Abercrombie and a Hook. There we go.
There it is.
Mark, is anything about the show make you want to watch it?
Not a damn thing, man. Just like I said, I'm gonna go back and check out some highlights, but Sasha Banks, Naomi, and Bianca wasn't even on the show, and that's a benefit to them. Sounds like so. I'm thinking that match you talking about. Orton had another like outburst of RKO's that was making everybody pop in their pants, apparently. But other than that, and for most people, I guess like you, that's kind of old hat at this point. So it's like it's the only thing he has,
and it's the only thing he's ever had. And like the funny thing is, he never even did as good as DDP. Like DDP was the first out of nowhere dude with a cutter. I remember he got somebody up for a TKO. I think it may have been like Flair. And he was spinning him, and then he dropped him into a diamond cutter. And I remember being like 12 going, oh my God, that was the coolest thing I've ever seen. Because I was annoying as a 12-year-old, just like I'm annoying now as a 35-year-old. But my voice was higher.
Yeah, with as much over saturation that we gotten over the years with the RKO, you almost appreciate the slower one now.
Yeah, the more methodical one. And like the thing is, like, he's not even like he's putting his arm underneath their chin. Like it's not DDP yanked those dudes, right? But so all right, we're doing a bad joke off on text, and I asked, "What do you call a fly without wings?" And my friend goes, "A creepy insect." And you're not wrong. But the answer is a walk, W-A-L-K. But anyway, so yeah, like Orton's has always just been like I fall into the guy. Like it's like the worst romantic hug ever. There's no velocity there. It's just ugh. But when he actually does like the old RKO, like when he was facing Undertaker in 05, like he would always like grab him and then jump into it. Like remember when he would like actually like lock his arm around their neck and then like leap?
Yeah, that was my favorite. Kind of, he hit it with the one arm, like he jumped with the one arm, and then yeah, that's my favorite version of it too. Yeah.
So yeah, I know everyone like marks out for the Evan Bournes and Seth Rollinses, but he's just fallen into them at that point.
The best sellers though are like it's a tie between RVD and Ricochet.
Yeah, especially already because he what was that 07? He hit him on that chair and like RVD went straight up in the air.
He sells it like death, man. Like,
All right, Marcus, how do you find Will Smith in the snow?
Oh God. Uh,
And it has nothing to do with Chris Rock.
damn it.
You
Need a
give up?
multiple choice. Yeah.
You follow the Fresh Prince. Ah!
I like it. I like it. Well, drugs I got for you are either gonna kill you or make you get off the phone really fast.
Right? All right, speaking of which, I want to get to McDonald's. It's been a long day. I want something
Yeah.
unhealthy. RealNerdCorp.com, RealNerdCorp.com. We're on Twitter at NERDCorp. We're on Instagram at, no, we're not, Twitch.tv/Wrestling Underground. We're also on YouTube at YouTube.com/The Wrestling Underground, I think. Just go to the website, RealNerdCorp.com, RealNerdCorp.com. It's the hub for all things us. And then, of course, the Twitter account is NERDCorp. Mark is going to be found on Twitter at ParadoxKid, ParadoxKid.
That's me.
There it is. I wanted to make sure that you said that because I kind of flubbed Marcus as I didn't pronounce the R's. Mars. I want to make sure people knew it was you. You can also find him on his other podcast. He does have another podcast. It's probably a better podcast because I'm not on it. So it has to be better.
Oh.
Marcus and I just shit talk for an hour or two. Those cats actually do research. You can find them at The True Penny Show on Twitter. Yeah, I'm right. TruePennyShow. I'm like, why can't I spell true? Why is this giving me so many difficulties? It's True Penny Show on Twitter. Check them out. I'm on Twitter as well at Chad Nerdcorp, ChadNerdCorp, and on the Instagram at Chad's Photo Hut, ChadSPHOTOHUT. That's it. We're done. We're good. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for giving us a chance. Thanks for... I can't remember the goddamn outro. 2 nights in a row. Thanks. I'm just going to go with thanks. Yeah, thanks. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to watch more wrestling. And remember, as always... God damn it, Marcus, why did I... This is the worst timeline. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for giving us a chance. There's another one. I can't remember it. Watch more wrestling, and Marcus takes it. God damn it.
Good night, me.